This video is for those of you who are thinking about retiring into Boquete and that environment around Boquete. And where do you live? Well, there's two places we're going to touch on today. One is Boquete Country Club, and the other is Lucero Golf and Country Club. Interesting fact about the Boquete one, there is no golf there. It sort of insinuates that there's a golf, in country club, but it's not. It's simply a housing complex, a nice one, gated community and all that. Both are gated communities. The Lucero one is definitely way more high-end than the Boquete one, but the Boquete one is really nice. And to try to get into the Lucero one, the people at the gate, I mean, you'd think you're a terrorist trying to break into the White House or something. They are really grilling you. So pretty safe community there. Where the other one, as you'll see, you can sort of just drive in, although somebody was there watching us and I guess assuming we weren't going to do anything stupid. Anyway, so just to give you a feel for what they are, this is David down here, and this is the main highway that leads up to Boquete. And where these are, let me just pull this down a little bit so you can see a little bit. Where these are in relationship to Boquete, this is Boquete right here. So to go from Boquete Country Club right to downtown Boquete, this is only about 6 minutes drive. This is a really short drive. This is maybe 2 minutes to get out to the highway. Bunch of restaurants and other things along this highway. And also along the highway, there's a very large grocery store, one of the bigger ones in the area. So there's a lot of stuff around here. This is a really great location and good roads. They're not potholed or anything. These are like brand new roads leading up to the Boquete Country Club. Going to Lucero is a different deal. And again, like I mentioned, there is a golf course there. It's a beautiful golf course. This one you have to come off the main highway and then start doing back roads, and you are riding up the mountain. And as you can see, it's 36 minutes. Well, here, let's just get it for real. From the highway, it's 32 minutes. So it's a half hour, and that's about right. It's going to take you that long to get up here because you're going uphill. And this is a pretty winding road, and again, good condition. The road is pretty fabulous condition, really, for being in Panama. My guess is, there's a lot of money up here. I would say these are big homes, and therefore they probably chipped in or something to get the road up to look pretty awesome. And I'd say the road, it's kind of a regular road up until somewhere around in here, and then it turns really good road for the rest of the way. That's why I kind of had the impression that the Lucero Golf and Country Club somehow chipped in or something to make the road like brand new looking, basically. So let's get on that road. We'll start with Lucero to give you a feel, and then we'll move over to Boquete Country Club. So this is what the drive looks like when you go up to Lucero and you're going up the mountains and you get these kind of views, which are really stunning views. It was a nice day, and it's really pretty on the way up. But you're going to be driving, and you definitely need to be paying attention to what's on the road. So we'll take that little drive. I'll give you a little bit of the drive, and then we'll be at the country club, and you'll get a feel for it. This is the golf course, and it's beautiful. Let's just walk up to, this is par 3 hole, and it's the 3rd hole. And I will be quiet while you take this in. It's a spectacular. White tees, blue tees up on top. Even higher up were the black tees shooting down at this hole. It was pretty, for a golf course, if you golf at all, which we do, this is an unbelievably gorgeous looking golf course. And it's a pretty big golf course, as you can see. Those fairways are pretty far out. The one way out in the distance, and you're up high, so the vistas are amazing.
Look at that tree made of inverted bottles. It's probably all the wine empties. And instead of throwing them out, they made a tree from them. So cool. Around and look at that bottle tree beside you. Not to mention all the beautiful nature all around us. It's incredible.
The country club was really pretty, as it should be. I mean, this is a high-end place. And tennis courts. And you can see the houses off in the distance. Again, I wish I had taken, more videos of the homes, but they're big. When you drive through, I would say almost every house has got like at least 3/4 of an acre. The houses are not close together. They are big, big homes, a lot of land. It is definitely a high-end complex, as you'll definitely get a feel, even just going through this website. So, the golf course, and you can rent this. I guess you can stay here. It's sort of like a treehouse hotel. And there's the golf course. Again, you can go through the website and get a feel for it all. Restaurant, which we're going to show you. And this is the stay. You stay in one of the tree houses again. And the properties. So if you want to see the properties, hopefully that they will, yes, okay. So this is sort of what they look like. They don't click, they don't open up. So I'll see if I can zoom in on these a little bit and give you a little bit better feel for it. But, these are pretty typical, and this is a big house. There's no doubt about it. This says 1,900 square feet, but this looks bigger. And I would say that's not counting, like North America, all of the home. Condos. So let's see if one more thing here. Properties for sale, private lots, photo gallery. Maybe they show a little bit more up here. Let's take a look. Inside the tree houses, well, let's just see what they got here. Oh, okay. So that's not a small house. It's a beautiful home. Tree house. Inside the tree house. Okay, well, you get the idea. Back in the car, back on the main highway between David and Boquete. Again, right about here. This is like 5 minutes from downtown Boquete. And as you can see, it's a really nice road. Like, the road is in really great condition, and it'll be that way right up until we get the entrance to Boquete Country Club and inside the complex also. So just give you a little idea of what the complex looks like and what the road looks like. And again, I wish we filmed a little bit more of the houses. You get a glimpse of houses in this one at least, which we didn't have it for Lucero. But I can tell you that it's a nice complex. As a matter of fact, as we were sort of comparing the two and just places around Boquete, it just seemed like this might be a really good one because it's so close. One of the things that sort of struck us from driving around Boquete is there's a lot of beautiful homes and they're up in the mountains, but they're not hard to get to, but it's a trek to get to. And at the end of the day, do you really want to be dealing with that? And super bumpy roads and wear and tear in your car and all that sort of stuff, as opposed to a 5-minute drive, on a road like this, where it's like no big deal to get to your house and to get into town, to get to restaurants, to get to a big giant grocery store that's right out on the highway, just kind of where we turned in, just a little bit down the road. It just seemed like an easier way to go by being here. And one of the really good things about what's going on here is they're building a very large section of just condos. Now, the good side is that. The bad side is they're kind of expensive. I think they start at $350 to $450, somewhere around there for a 2-bedroom, which is, kind of hefty for Boquete, I thought, for a condo. You can get a great house for that matter, for that and then some. But, anyway, it is what it is. So let's go inside. As you can see on the right, big home. Now that's probably been there maybe 10 years. One of the things that you'll have an impression of, if you look at this in Google Maps, it's like Google Maps seems to be like 15 years behind the times because there's virtually no houses here. But when you actually go into the complex, there are a pretty fair amount of homes, but there's a lot of land, so it looks sparse because they're not butt right up, up against each other. But there's a pretty fair amount of homes, and I would say when we drove through, they were probably building about 8 to 10 of them, in different parts of the complex because there's more than a few roads in here. There's maybe maybe 5 roads, streets and things, and so there's definitely action going on here. But all that being said, my impression was, both of our impressions was that the houses aren't selling maybe as well as the developers thought they would, and they're moving on to condos, which will be on the right-hand side, just on the other side, out of view of that big green roof building there. That's an equestrian center, actually, where that big building with the green roof, horse equestrian, jumping and all that sort of stuff. But just to the right of that, they're putting in a huge condo complex, 4 floors, and my guess is they'll sell really well. And, for snowbirds, people who want to come here in the wintertime but don't necessarily want to spend their entire life in Panama, but they definitely would want to come here for the winter, which would be an awesome thing to do. So I would think the condos would fill up pretty fast, and then they'll move on and start building more and more. So ultimately, this may end up being a 50-50 houses to condos type complex in this Boquete Country Club. One of the things that were kind of interesting, we're driving right to the back, and right to the back there's a huge drop off into a big canyon, which is beautiful to see. You won't really get a glimpse of it off the car window here, the car camera, but what we found is you drive down here, and maybe because of the canyon, there was a lot more building of new stuff down here at the end, way away from the entrance to the complex. Thought that was kind of funny, but again, it is what it is. So we're going to turn around right here and go back. But if you just look over the edge there, you kind of can't see very much. If you spend any time in South American countries, or even Central American or Mexico, you'll notice that it's sort of a cultural thing where, just to the left over here is where the condos are going, where you can see all the dirt has been plowed up, just over there. And again, that thing on the right-hand side with the green roof was the equestrian center. Here's the condos that are already there. These are about 9 or 10 years old, and they're nice. But they're also, I would say at this point, half the price of what the new ones are going to be. Anyway, as I was mentioning, the cultural thing, if you're in Mexico or Central or South America, they put bars on the windows. In this complex, no bars anywhere. And I thought that was telling of the safety of everything. There you go. That's Boquete Country Club and, of course, Lucero Golf and Country Club. Hope you like this. As always, subscribe to the channel. We're really growing really fast, faster than we ever thought it would be, which is, all because of you guys watching. So thank you very much. Again, subscribe, hit the like button, and we will see you on the next video.